So here are a few sentences in French. Okay, so here today we'll see what you're going to learn about. The words that I'm going to highlight. Can you guess what are these words? No idea? So far we've been learning about the articles, the different type of articles. We learned about the nouns, and then we learned about the prepositions. Yes, and now in the list is a new set of words that we are going to learn. We call them as adjectives. Yes. So here the first four sentences. J'aime le pantalon bleu. J'aime la chemise bleue. J'aime les pantalons bleus. J'aime les chemises bleues. So now let's see just the four sentences, the first four sentences. We're going to see about the word in red. What is that? What part of speech it belongs to? I've already given you the heading that we are going to deal about. Can you recall and tell what is that part of speech that we are going to learn about? The blur part. What is that blur?
Adjective.
Yes. Yes, I've already said we are going to learn about the adjectives. So here, j'aime le pantalon bleu means I like the blue pant. J'aime la chemise bleue. I like the blue shirt. J'aime les pantalons bleus. I like the blue pants. And here I like the blue shirts. So I've just picked up simple sentences for you to understand the concept. So we're going to see about the adjectives. So what is it that you're going to learn about adjectives in the language? Apart from learning the meanings and spellings of the new list of words, we are going to learn about two important points when we are using adjective in a sentence. The first point is very clearly seen here. Can you tell what is the first point that we're going to learn? Just observe the spellings of the word blur, 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 blur. What is it that we're going to learn is, can anybody answer? I'm expecting a response from one of you. What is it that you see so different with the word blur used in the first four sentences? And
Ma'am, pantalon masculine gender, so no ye.
okay, right. So it's about the spellings, exactly as you said. It's about the spellings. Pantalon is masculine, so the spelling of blue is different. When it comes to chemise, it's feminine, the spelling is different. So this is what we are going to learn as the first point as far as the adjectives are concerned. Yes. So when we are using adjectives, we have to take care of the spellings because as the nouns have gender, the adjective which describe the nouns will also have gender. The spellings will change according to the gender of the noun which it describes. Fine. And the second point to be noticed is here. Just read the remaining four sentences. Je lis un roman chinois means I read a Chinese novel. We read some interesting novels. Nous lisons des romans intéressants. Le petit garçon joue dans le jardin. The little boy plays in the garden. La petite fille joue dans le jardin. The little girl plays in the garden. Les petits enfants jouent dans le jardin. The little children play in the garden. Okay, so I've given the meaning. The second point about the adjective is it can be noticed here in these five sentences. Can one of you guess what is that? It's obviously seen, there's no guessing. You can just tell what you see. Just have a look at the words that I've highlighted in a red. Tell me what is it? What's the difference between the first two sentences and the last three sentences? Akshat is here. Akshat Gupta, can you answer?
Um, yes, ma'am, I'm here, but I'm not really sure. I'm just thinking.
What is it that you see? It's obviously seen in the last five sentences. Can't you guess the word in red?
Little, yeah.
Okay, so here the second point about adjective, as I was talking about, is the position of the word. You can see the word Chinois, Chinese, the word interesting, they are written after the noun. Whereas here the word petit, petite, petit, the word little is written before the noun. So this is the second point you're going to learn about the adjectives. The first one is the change in the spelling. The second is the position of the adjective in the sentence. Fine. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
now let me just show you the list of adjectives in the language, and then we'll see further with a few examples how to use the adjective. So here you can see les adjectives. Les adjectives, you can see petit, petite. So the masculine forms the first, followed by the feminine form. Petit, petite, grand, grande, court, courte, blanc, blonde, mauvais, mauvaise, vrai, vrai, joli, jolie, intelligent, intelligente, charmant, charmante. So you can see the masculine and the feminine form here. So what is it that you notice? What's the difference between the first form and the second form? How is it changed? What is the change that you see in the two forms?
E in the end.
That's all. Yes. So you add a E and make it feminine, right? But it's not always that we add E and make it feminine. There are certain words here, for example, you can see the word ancient. Yes, it doesn't take a E, but there is an extra N. And similarly, the word delicious, generous, good, just have a look at that. So the words, the endings, they don't simply take a E, but there are different endings. And there are certain words which you see, there's no much change, not much, there's no change at all with the masculine and the feminine form. So how all this happens? So to just make it easier, I'll just introduce to you a set of few rules for converting a masculine adjective to feminine adjective. So this is really very important. Please concentrate and listen. So these are the endings of the masculine words, the endings, the masculine adjectives. En, eux, on, er, if, and e. These are the few endings of the masculine adjectives, right? So those masculine adjectives, when they are to be written in the feminine form, you change it to pnne, ux changes to euse, on, onnne, er, e accent, re, if, ive. If it ends with e, it remains the same. These are the six rules. Of course, you have a lot more rules. So as usual, I'm just limiting it a few for you. So there are certain examples. So ancien becomes ancienne, délicieux, délicieuse, bon becomes bonne, premier, première, sportive, sportive, rouge, rouge. Rouge is the color red. So it's ancient, delicious, good, first, sportive, red. Fine. So these are a few examples for these rules. So whenever you want to change an adjective, the spelling of the adjective, you just have to check the ending. If it has any of these six endings, just convert it to these endings. If you find that the adjective doesn't have any of these six endings, then you simply add a e and make it feminine as we did for petit. Petit changes to petite, grand changes to grande. So most of the time, this rule applies by adding e and making it feminine. Only for certain words, these rule apply. Any question here? Are the rules clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So you can see in this list of adjectives, I've included the colors also: noir, brun, bleu, vert, gris, rouge. Yes, and even the nationalities will go along with the list of adjectives. Yes. So learn the list of adjectives in the masculine and feminine form with the spell with the meaning. Right. And what is it? We are getting back to the title. It's not simply adjective. It's is adjective régulier. What is that? Régulier. What is it? Why we call them as régulier? Because we have list of adjectives called irregular. That's all. It's as simple as that. So why? What's the difference between the regular and the irregular? It's the same rule as we have done with the verbs. Remember the verbs? We had the regular verbs and the irregular verbs. So what was the difference between the regular and irregular verbs? Can you recall, one of you? So if I should call out anybody, I shall call Manav, Manav Mantri. Are you here, Manav? Manav Singla. Both the Manavs are here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you tell me what's the difference between the regular verbs and the irregular verbs?
Ma'am, for regular verbs, they have the same word for all the pronouns, like the same form of verb for all pronouns. Whereas irregular verbs, different verb have different forms.
Actually, for verbs, there are different forms. Whether it's regular or irregular, the spellings are different.
Uh, because of my forms, I meant that words change in change in with
Yeah,
different
so
flows,
yes,
kind of
yes, you
that.
have to be more specific.
Yes, ma'am.
Both the verbs there are different spellings. Here they have a particular pattern. The regular
Right, right,
verbs they have a particular pattern. Irregular doesn't. So the
right, ma'am.
same thing applies here. Thank you, Nana. Thank you. So here it's about the same content here. About the regular and irregular adjectives. So regular adjectives have got list of rules that we saw right now, whereas the irregular ones they don't go by those rules. They have their own spelling and for its feminine form. So you can see bow in masculine has changed to bell. There's not much resemblance. The entire spelling changes. Nouveau changes to nouvelle. Gros changes to gross. Bas, basse. Long, longue. Franc, franche. Vieux, vieille. Blanc, blanche. So it's not just these 8 irregular adjectives, we have a lot more irregular ones. Fine. So you need to, as there's no rule for this, you need to learn the spellings by heart as you have done for the irregular verbs, right? So that's the difference between the regular adjectives and the irregular adjectives. Any question? Is it clear? Okay, and now we'll get back to the list sentences that we've been reading. So, j'aime le pantalon bleu. You can see the word pantalon is a masculine, so I'm using the masculine form. Chemise is feminine, so I add a e and make it feminine. And here it's les pantalons, it's masculine plural, so I add a s to the masculine form. And chemise is feminine plural, so I make it feminine and then add a s. Right? So the same thing happens here. Je lis un roman chinois. Chinois. Roman is masculine, so chinois is in the masculine form. You know, chinois is a nationality, and here it's used as an adjective. Chinese. Nous lisons des romans intéressants. Roman is here in the masculine plural form, so I add a s to interesting. And garçon is masculine, so petit in the masculine form. Fille is feminine, so petite. I've added a e. And enfant is in plural, masculine plural form. So I simply add a s to the masculine plural form. Right, so this is how the adjectives change its spelling according to the noun it describes. And the second point about the adjectives that I was talking about is the position of the adjective. You can see here Chinese novel, blue shirt, blue pant, yes, interesting novels. All these, the adjectives are at the end. It's not interesting novel, it's a novel interesting. Novel Chinese, shirt blue, like that. Whereas here, small boy, small girl, right? The little children. Fine. So we are going to see why this change and how we are going to implement it in the sentences in the next class. So I'll talk about the position of adjectives in the next class. So today we'll just continue with the spellings of the adjectives through some exercise. I'll just share another PPT. We'll just work out, try to find the answers. So I'm sharing it with you here. So is it seen? Can you see the PPT here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here we are going to apply the different spellings. That's all. So the title says complete un accordo l'adjectif entre parenthèses. So complete with the correct form of adjective, with the agreement of adjective given within brackets. So the words within bracket are all adjectives. The first sentence, le parc est grand. The park is big. So what would be the spelling of big, grand here? So grand describes the word park. So what is the gender of park? Is it masculine or feminine?
Masculine.
So the answer would be the same word, right? GRAND, no change. Also understand in the question usually by default the masculine form will be given, right? So when you are applying you have to check the gender, change or leave it as it's required. So le parc est grand. So the answer remains the same. The second one, le livre est amusant. The book is interesting, amazing, amusing, right? Interesting. So livre again is masculine. So will there be any change with amusant?
No.
No. So it's the same word. Le livre est amusant. The third one, la chambre est grand. So grand refers to la chambre. The room is big. So how do I change big?
then grand.
Yeah, I'll add a e and make it feminine. L'hôtel est très cher. L'hôtel est très cher. The hotel is very costly. So will there be a change here with share? What's the gender of hotel? Is it masculine or feminine?
Masculine.
Masculine. So no change, right? If there's a feminine word, I'll change costly also to feminine. Right. For example, let me add here a sentence like la chemise est. If I'm using the word share here, I'll change it to ERE with the ER ending. So I'll change it to ERE. So la chemise est chère. The shirt is costly. Understood the difference? L'hôtel and chemise.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. The next sentence, la gardienne est très vieux. La gardienne est très vieux. So the adjective mentioned is vieux, right? And the noun which is described is la gardienne. The housekeeper is very old. The housekeeper is very old. So gardienne is in the feminine form, la. La gardienne. So what is the feminine of vieux?
ILE.
Yes. So remember, vieux is an irregular adjective. So its form is VIEILLE. Est votre valise est noire? Again, here is your suitcase black? So valise is a feminine word. So add e to black and make it feminine. Is your suitcase black? The seventh one, la voiture est trop petite. La voiture, the car is too small. The car is too small. So the car is a feminine word. So I'm adding e to petit and making it feminine. So you have to identify first the adjective whether it's coming under regular or irregular, right? And change it accordingly. Vous êtes, monsieur, vous êtes. You are kind, sir. That's the meaning, right? Shanti means kind, gentle. So you are kind, sir. You are gentle, sir. Right? You are kind, sir. So it refers to sir, monsieur. Vous êtes gentil, monsieur. Since it's referring to sir, obviously it's going to be the same word. Gentil will remain the same. Yes. If you have any doubt, please stop me. The ninth one, le petit déjeuner est délicieux. The breakfast is delicious. Le petit déjeuner, the breakfast. So again, the breakfast is masculine word. You can check it with the article. It's le, so no change with the word delicious. And the 10th one, les filles sont, the girls are. The girls are beautiful. So beau here is in the masculine form. I'll change it to feminine. Since it's plural, I'll add a S. So les filles sont belles. The last one would be mes valises sont bleues. My suitcases are blue in color, blue. So suitcase is feminine, valise, so I'll add E, and it's also plural, so I'll add a S. So making plural is simply by adding a S, okay? There's no much difficulty in changing it to plural. Just add S and change masculine singular to masculine plural, feminine singular to feminine plural. That's it. So, any doubt here?
Ma'am, what's the meaning of the last sentence?
Meaning, my suitcases are blue, blue in color, blue. Mes valises sont bleues. So this is how you will have to deal with the adjectives when you are asked in the exams as well. So you got to write the correct spelling of grand. You have to identify the noun, its gender, its number, identify the adjective, whether it's regular, irregular, change it according to the noun. So the next class we'll see about the position of an adjective. Here it's all sentences, right? Here you could see it's just used as an object, like the park is big. It comes as a sentence. There will be changes when it's used along with the noun, as we saw in the example sentences. We'll see with the prepositional positions in the next class. Any further doubts? Okay, now you can just answer to your attendance. So I've uploaded all this already for you, the list of adjectives. I want you to write it down on your notebook and along with the meanings, and write down the rules of the adjectives also. Yes, write it down in your notes so that it will stay in your mind. Don't just take printouts and keep it at the end of the for the exams. Okay, only if you write, you'll get used to the language. I keep repeating it. Hope you abide by that. Answer your attendance, Pavan Kumar Reddy.
Present, ma'am.
Why are you being absent regularly, Pavan Kumar? 16th, 18th. If you're
Ma'am,
absent,
actually, actually, my aunt got, she had, ma'am, we used to go for Hyderabad on Tuesday and Thursday. I was in the hospital to look after her. So I didn't attend
okay.
the last two classes, ma'am.
Whatever it is, just keep track of the language. It's a new subject you're learning, so last minute don't ask for help.
Okay. Ma'am, what about the quiz, ma'am?
Quiz is over already.
Yeah, ma'am, I just seen in the past, ma'am. Can you reconduct
We'll
quiz,
we'll
ma'am?
talk about that later. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Let me just finish the attendance. As I call out the attendance, you can leave the class. Okay. Pranjali,
Present, ma'am.
Nupur Sharma,
Present, ma'am.
Resu,
Yes, ma'am.
Gopinath,
Present, ma'am.
Jeevan Kishore,
Present, ma'am.
Pujita, Teja Naveen,
Present, ma'am.
Balaji, Kartikeya Shingar, Vijay Prashant, Utkarsh Mishra,
Present, ma'am.
Sucharan Reddy,
Present, ma'am. Present,
Devika
ma'am.
Mohan,
Present, ma'am.
Santan Reddy,
Present, ma'am.
Dinesh Ramsai,
Present, ma'am.
Arun Sai Chaudhary,
Present, ma'am.
Kurela Vikas,
Present, ma'am.
Jayant Srirangam,
Present, ma'am.
Kapla Vamsi,
Present, ma'am.
Vivekananda Reddy,
Present, ma'am.
Raghavendra Rohit,
Present, ma'am.
Naman Sharma,
Present, ma'am.
Venkata Surya Kumar, Sheikh Javed,
Yes, ma'am.
Sai Subhash Kumar,
Yes, ma'am.
Sriram Sai Chandana,
Present, ma'am.
Sri Lekha,
Present, ma'am.
Gautam Malhotra,
Present, ma'am.
Ayushi,
Present, ma'am.
Samla Abhinay, Prashant Dutt Bhardwaj,
Present, ma'am.
Prashant,
Present, ma'am. Hello.
okay. Biju, Viji,
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
Biju. Ma'am, Biju present, ma'am.
right. Elshde,
Present, ma'am.
okay. Have you applied for NECAT?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. Is it approved?
No, I don't think so, but he said it will approve.
Okay, we'll wait.
Ma'am, the dates are like for applying recat, the dates are 30 and 31st.
I don't know. I don't remember the date. I'll just check it. I think we have received a mail for the date of the exam as
Yes,
well
ma'am.
for the date.
It's showing like you can apply on 30th and 31st, and the cats will be on 10th and 11th, I guess.
Okay, fine then. I just abide by the rule. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Utkarsh,
Present, ma'am.
Pratyush,
Yes, ma'am.
Anvi Jain,
Present, ma'am.
Manav Mantri,
Present, ma'am.
Juhi Verma,
Present, ma'am.
Manav Singla,
Present, ma'am.
Balakrishnan,
Yes, ma'am.
Sneka,
Present, ma'am.
Vikas Yadav,
Present, ma'am.
Nishant,
Present, ma'am.
Puneet,
Present, ma'am.
Sai Charan,
Present, ma'am.
Gautam Sai,
Present, ma'am.
Aryan Kalpesh, Ramakrishna, Lakshmi Ramakrishna, Yuvraj,
Yes, ma'am.
Muskan Rastogi, Sanya Mida,
Yes, ma'am.
Ishan Jain,
Present, ma'am.
Akshat Gupta,
Present, ma'am.
Venkatesh R, Meher Kirti Nigam,
Present, ma'am.
Chetan Chandra,
Present, ma'am.
Dimpu Sai,
Present, ma'am.
Reshma,
Yes, ma'am.
Rutvik,
Present, ma'am.
Shravan Kumar, Harshvardhan,
Present, ma'am. Harsha,
Nanda,
present, ma'am.
Harsha,
Present, ma'am.
okay. Nanda Kumar, present. Aman Srivastava. Aman. Okay, thank you. Meet you all next class. Kindly go through the content in the course page, write it down in your notes.
Vijay
Ma'am,
Prashant.
ma'am, this is Pawan, ma'am.
Yes, who's this?
Vijay Prashant present, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you reconnect the quiz for us, ma'am? Because